Criminal Justice, Mainstream and Cross Currents, Chapter 5, The History and Organization of Law Enforcement. This is a narrated version of this PowerPoint presentation. The history and organization of law enforcement. Police legitimacy has been a national issue since the late 1700s. The institution of police is a relatively new phenomenon, and the police are subject to rapid social change and constant challenges. Police in early England. The form of policing that most directly led to that of modern U.S. policing was England's Frankenpledge system. The invention of gin advanced the development of law enforcement by making hard liquor affordable for many people. Henry Fielding organized the Bow Street Runners, which was more centralized than the Watch and Ward system. In 1798, the West India Trading Company created London's first professional salaried police force called the Thames River Police. In 1829, Sir Robert Peel sponsored the Metropolitan Police Act, the first successful bill to create a permanent public police force. English policing contributed three features to U.S. policing: limited police authority, local control, and a fragmented system. The 19th century. Policing in the United States. Informal policing began in New York City in 1625. The city's first professional police force was organized in 1845. Policing in the United States. The authority of officers in London rested on discretion granted by the government. New York City officers had more discretion with a personal basis for authority. Policing in the United States. Chicago official police force was created around 1855 and reorganized several times until 1913. Chicago police had four particular orientations toward the law. They included: Chicago police and courts were highly decentralized. The Chicago police were at the command of local organizations. Chicago criminal justice institutions developed informal systems of operation, and Chicago criminal justice institutions operated as rackets. Policing in the United States. The vigilante tradition was part of the American life, especially in the South and in the West. Introduction of police professionalism, reformers and reform acts. The Pendleton Civil Service Act of 1883, the Wickersham Commission and August Vollmer, Orlando Wilson, and J. Edgar Hoover. Reformers and reform efforts. The 1883 Pendleton Civil Service Act basically formed a civil service system that dispensed with patronage and administered employment and promotions based on merit rather than political connections. In 1931, August Vollmer wrote the Wickersham Commission report that affected police reform for the rest of the 20th century. Features of this progressive movement included an emphasis on technology. Orlando W. Wilson increased police efficiency by assigning officers based on the amount of reported crime and calls of service. J. Edgar Hoover championed police professionalism and built the FBI into one of the premier law enforcement agencies in the world. Modern police organizations. Police departments' organization varies little. Most have uniforms, ranks, hierarchical chains of command, and centralized decision-making. Figure 5.1 from your textbook is an organizational chart of the Wickenburg, Arizona Police Department as of 2011. At the top is the Chief of Police. Under the Chief, Communications Supervisor, Administrative Assistant, and Sergeants. Under the Sergeants, you have Citizen Patrols, includes 11, 2 detective, 11 police officers. Under Communications Supervisor, you have 5 dispatchers. Figure 5.2 is an organization of the Houston, Texas Police Department as of 2011. Houston is the fourth most populous city in the United States with over 2.25 million residents, and as the chart illustrates, a much more complex organizational. At the top, we do have the Chief of Police. Under the Chief, we have Chief of Stats, Public Affairs, Budgets and Finance, Legal Services. Next down, Strategic Operation, Investic Operation, Field Operations, Technology Services, and Support Services. Under those, Informational Services, Administrative Services, West Patrol Command, East Patrol Command, North Control Command, North Central Patrol Command, Criminal Investigation Command, Special Investigation Command, Professional Standards Command, and Homeland Security. Modern police organization. Crucial differences between the police and the military include discretion, visibility, and authority. Problems of jurisdiction. What has been sacrificed in coordination and efficiency has been gained in responsiveness and accountability. Policing is fragmented with more than 18,000 agencies nationwide. Levels of law enforcement include federal, state, and local. At the federal level, agencies have nationwide jurisdiction but concentrate on specific crimes. Federal law enforcement agencies are organized under the Department of Justice, Department of Treasury, and Department of Homeland Security. At the federal level, you have the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which is a nationwide jurisdiction to combat federal crimes, and the Secret Service, placed under Homeland Security. Its mission has been expanded to include terrorism. Figure 5.3 shows full-time federal officers by primary function. Most federal officers performed criminal investigation and enforcement duties, followed by police response, patrol, inspections, and correctional and detentional. This figure is found in your textbook. Figure 5.4 shows federal law enforcement agencies with the most officers. As of 2008, Customs and Border Patrol had the most, with the Secret Service having the least. This figure is available in your textbook. At the state level, there are many variations in agency organizations from state to state. State, industry, or culture can determine the type of state police agencies. Many states have bureaus of investigation. Many states have organized their state law enforcement functions under their highway patrols. All states have a highway patrol except for Hawaii. At the local level, local law enforcement agencies handle most crime. Most local police forces are operated by municipalities. About 13,000 local police departments in the United States. The largest is the New York City Police Department. Figure 5.5 shows the 10 largest police departments by total number of full-time sworn personnel in 2007. The chart illustrates New York is number 1, Chicago number 2, Los Angeles number 3, Philadelphia number 4, Houston number 5, DC 6, Phoenix, Arizona 7, Dallas 8, Miami-Dade 9. Local level. Sheriff's offices are the most common form of county law enforcement in the U.S. with about 3,100 offices. Most sheriffs are elected. Most offices run at least one jail. Innovations in policing. Innovations in policing come from three sources: social and technological changes, research, and new ideas. Social and technological changes, we see this in Homeland Security, less than lethal weapons, information technology, which includes DNA databases, and crime mapping. Homeland Security, role expansion, racial and ethnic profiling, immigration enforcement, and personnel shortages. Less than lethal weapons include weapons that are not intended to kill, protect police, and potential for misuse. Informational technology, DNA databases, NDIS, and CODIS. Crime mapping is geographical maps of where criminal offenses occur and where suspects and offenders live. Innovations from research, Kansas City Prevention Patrol Experiment, RAND Study of Detectives, the DARE Program, and Project Ceasefire. The Kansas City Prevention Patrol Experiment examined the effectiveness of police patrol. Decreasing or increasing routine patrols had no effect on crime, citizens' fear of crime, or community attitudes towards the police. RAND Study of Detectives examined how effective detectives are in solving crime, suggested that a rethinking about the duties of detective warrants new ways of doing investigative work. DARE, the Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, was started in 1983 by the LAPD and Los Angeles schools. Recent evaluations suggest the program does little to prevent children from using drugs. Project Ceasefire, part of the Boston Gun Project, an effort to stem youth violence. Youths were informed that further violence would not be tolerated. Questions we might ask from this chapter. What was the Pendleton Civil Service Act? What are the crucial differences between the police and the military? And what level of agency handles most crime? This concludes this narrated version of the PowerPoint.